Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, in his address addressing the members of the Central Committee as well as the Politburo, has claimed that Zimbabwe is food secure, something which is a lie. We know that Zimbabwe is not food secure at the moment. The people of Zimbabwe are hungry. There is absolutely no farming activity that is going on. Any farming activity that is happening in Zimbabwe, it is only happening in his own farm. But also, it's very important to interact with the question as to where these members of the Central Committee and Politburo of ZANU-PF going there merely to inspect the farm of Mnangagwa and hear the notes from Emmerson Mnangagwa. I strongly do not think so. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, that is Lihlon Pani Global News. If watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. So, addressing the members of the Politburo as well as the Central Committee, which are the key decision-making bodies within ZANU-PF as a political party, Emmerson Mnangagwa has claimed that Zimbabwe is food secure. That is what he was telling those members of the Central Committee as well as also the Politburo. And obviously I have dispelled this, that it is a lie. If Zimbabwe was food secure, then why will Zimbabweans run away from Zimbabwe? And this is a very selfish and a greedy man that only he's the only one who is doing farming, and we know that it's not his own money, but it is the money that is taken from the state coffers to do this and to portray. Mnangagwa has monopolized everything as a family. He wants to be the best example of a farmer. He wants to be the best example of a politician. He wants to lead the military, police, everywhere. He wants to be there. He wants the family members to run ministries. That has been the legacy of Emmerson Mnangagwa. But now, why are these members of the Central Committee going to the Precable Farm? It's quite simple. That definitely they were going there to plan. And the public address would not give you a mirror of what they were going to do there. But definitely a strategy was being made, and maybe from today going onwards, we're going to get a clear picture as to what exactly were these members of the Central Committee going to the farm of Mnangagwa to do. That is the Precable Farm. In simple, we can actually predict that these individuals were going there most probably to map another strategy of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Now we know that those who are opposed to Mnangagwa, they are opposing his policies around land, and he is doing all he can to actually prove them wrong. That is what we have been witnessing Emmerson Mnangagwa doing in the past few days, trying by all means to prove the other faction wrong, that whatever they are saying is wrong. For example, last night I made a record of this guy Takwire trying by all means to respond to the allegations that have been made by Blessed Keza, but not actually. This could have been done through a press briefing, but these people are doing activities. And for example, this activity of the Precable Farm, if you discover how much money was used there to transport these members of ZANU-PF Politburo and the Central Committee, it's a lot of money. We may be talking of millions, and definitely they are given allowances just to visit the farm of Emmerson Mnangagwa. There are benefits that are associated with that single visit, not calculating the money for transport, not calculating what they ate. It's not money that comes from their own pockets to just go men These people are taking from the state coffers, and that event on its own may have been inflated. Someone once wanted to steal the money from the state coffers. Now you see Zimbabwe not progressing, and you think that it is because there are lack of resources. No, it's not because there are lack of resources. It is because we don't have a government that is people-centered, that is disciplined, that actually applies the principles of stewardship to make sure that they don't waste expenditure. What was the purpose of visiting the Precable Farm if one can actually ask except to quench a narrow interest of one family in Zimbabwe that wants to continue ruling and leading the people of Zimbabwe? And why these people are crying about Mnangagwa? There is absolutely no one that is happy about Mnangagwa. If truth be said, the people of Zimbabwe are crying for a better government, for a better president, for a better leadership in Zimbabwe, and they are not getting that out of Emmerson Mnangagwa, as well as those around him. Obviously, I saw a lot of, especially those who are tracking for 2030 mantra. These are people who were part of the delegation there in numbers. I mean, you can talk of the National Commissar of ZANU-PF, Machacha. There were a lot of individuals there. Obviously, Owen Muta Ncube is one of the four runners. I mean, the people who are at the forefront in terms of campaigning for this 2030 mantra. And I hope as the day progresses, we are going to see more information about what exactly transpired there. But I can tell you that visit was for no good. That visit was not for the people of Zimbabwe. And the mere fact I did not see retired General Chiwenga going there, if there is anything, he has not gone to the Precable Farm for a long period. And they are always doing their own things. I will be also analyzing what is the reason why he is actually disassociating with these programs and interventions for Emmerson Mnangagwa that are happening at Precable Farm. Now, if you talk of 2030, the headquarters of 2030, it is the Precable Farm of Emmerson Mnangagwa, that is in Kwekwe, Midlands. So definitely the factional debates, because the people who attended there were like-minded people of ZANU-PF, and these are critical national decision-making bodies of ZANU-PF, and definitely it's not just a mere visit, and taking into consideration that one of the key leaders of the other faction was not in attendance. That on its own gives an impression that the other faction definitely was plotting against the other faction. And absence, they know that if they go to Precable Farm, most probably would not participate in these activities, because they understand very, very well what is the reason of these activities. And they are choosing the Precable Farm because they know they will have some degree of secrecy. But obviously, information will leak. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us. My voice not so good, but we'll try to give